Okay, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakah Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutation you I came out there that pushed this word in truth and in sincerity. This is going to be a quick lesson. You know, Apparatus you I came out there will be edified. You know, started with the apostles, from Apostle Tahar on down to the men, to the prophets, the elders, and the teachers that's out there pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. We have been telling you what's coming down the pike. We have been telling y'all and warning y'all before the YouTube era. You know, Jake has been warned before the YouTube era. They have been being warned time after time what's coming down the pike. And now everything that was being told back in the 90s, in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, we starting to see it come to pass. Certain people are getting nervous. Certain people are still thumbing their nose up and be like, you know what? Because they slated for destruction. They're part of the 2/3 club. Whether they know about this truth and fell out or got kicked out, they thumbing their nose up. Some getting nervous. Some are scared. But the thing is, we are warning y'all. And we are the same prophets that's coming back. If you out there teaching this word in truth and sincerity and the Most High is dealing with you, that means you was a prophet in the ancient world. You was a prophet in the ancient world, and you was prophesizing against them wicked as Jakes that was back then. But we living in Babylon. We living in America, which is spiritually Babylon, spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah, spiritually Egypt. So all the wickedness back then, let me just say this. We prophesied, if I'm a man of the Lord, if I'm a man of the Lord, if I'm one of those prophets coming back in the ancient world, because every man is in a lot. So what we did in the past, in our previous life, we're going to do it in this life. Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8, and it reads, the prophets that have been before thee, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, the prophets of old, going back to the ancient world, prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war. Is not America a great kingdom and a kingdom of war? America been in existence for over almost 300 years and only 12 years of peace. Because Esau had a conquest. They were not to conquer. They were not conquering and to conquer, man. That was their main goal. And that's prophecy, because why Esau was given the blessing of the sword. So Esau, the so-called white man, is only living out what his lot, man. What he was put on earth to do. Kill, destroy, and be the devil, man. I'm going to go back. Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil. And America is full of evil. Transgenderism, putting the woman above the man with that feminist crap. Homosexuality. Hey, the shit is so bad with this transgenderism shit. But I'm not going to say too much to get this video taken down. But Dave Chappelle put out a stand-up comedy, and they demonized him because he was speaking against transgenders. But here it is. We live in a society whereas you can't, if you see a woman, or what you think is a woman, a half a block down, you have to wait till you get up on that woman to see if this is really a woman or not, man. Because that's how sick the society is, man. So these transgenders could deceive a person if the spirit not dealing with them. And that's okay. That's okay. But if you speak against them, that's when all hell comes down upon you, man. You see, these devils, they have an agenda. So we out here warning y'all. We are them same prophets coming back that was in the ancient world, prophesying against the neighboring countries that was around Jerusalem, and prophesying against the sons of Israel, man, for their wickedness, man. And we doing the same thing that was back then, we doing it now. But with much more understanding. You understand what I'm saying? Are you comprehending? Because back then, the prophets, they prophesied against these nations, but guess what? They didn't have the full understanding of what was being prophesied to them, what was being revealed to them due to Most High Yahweh Bashmi Abashah. But in this day as we living in now, the last days, we are fully aware and have the whole 100% breakdown of these scriptures. So it reads back in Jeremiah 28 verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war. America's a kingdom of war, and of evil, and of pestilence. You see what's going on now with this COVID thing? The great evils that's going on throughout the four corners of the earth, mainly here in America. Verse 9, the prophet which prophesied of peace when the word of the prophet, Slakia, verse 9, the prophet which prophesied of peace when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. You see, you got certain groups out there speaking that it's not going to be a Jacob's trouble. But the scriptures is saying it's contrary to what these other groups are saying. I'm not going to mention nobody's name because I'm not going to even entertain that. But we all know that's in this circle, that's in the loop, know that who's been saying that there's no Jacob's trouble coming. It says, the prophet which prophesies of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. And what we are talking about with this MOTB, starting from the apostle to all on down, is coming to pass, man. And we see these things. But you got these other camps out there saying that the mark of the beast is an embargo, or sleeping with white women, or any other madness they spewed out of their mouths, man. But the prophets of old prophesied both against great countries. I'm going to read it again before I go to the next scripture. Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And we've been telling you, man, everything that's coming down the pike, man, is of the Lord, man. Whether Esau is doing it on the left-hand side, but the Most High controls both sides of the spectrum. So we know that everything is being controlled by the Most High, man. There's no other way to explain it. If you can't get it, hey, it's not meant for you to get, man. The Most High controls both sides of this, of the left hand and the right hand, man. So whatever Esau is doing, Esau being the so-called white man, whatever he's doing, the Most High is putting that spirit on him to do so. And the Most High Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah is going to put that spirit on him to bring forth Jacob's trouble, pursuant to Jeremiah 30:7, Revelation 12:12. There's plenty of scriptures that back up what I'm saying. Hey, man, you better wake up before it's too late. Because we are the same prophets that have been prophesying back in the ancient world, and we hear one of you again. Ezekiel 3:17, man. It says, this is Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the words at my mouth and give them warning from me. And that's what we are doing week in and week out. We giving you warning. These are not our words. These are the words of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah, man. And we telling you what's coming down the pike, man. But you people refuse to take heed to what's coming down the pike, man. Y'all don't have a clue what's going down, man. Y'all want things to go back to normal. But here we are out there putting up videos week in and week out, doing sit downs, doing our shows throughout the week, warning you people, flooding the internet, which is the unicorn, flooding the people, flooding the internet with all kind of prophecies was coming to pass, man. But you people refuse to take heed, man. And therefore, the same that did not take heed to the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah do his prophets, the same must know it after death by pain. You understand? Are you comprehending? And this is going to happen, man. Jacob's trouble is going to happen, man. And we warn y'all, man. It says, Son of man, Ezekiel 3:17, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the words at my mouth and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, that same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I will acquire at thy hand. And that's why we out there in the houses and the Bibles, because we do not want you wicked ass Israelites blood on our hands, man. So we doing the work of the Most High. We doing what we were compelled to do. We doing what we were programmed to do. We are programmed to go out there in the highways and the byways to feed the hopeful elect and to warn you the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But not only the 2/3, we out there warning Esau and the rest of the nations, man. Because they're going to get it. Everybody going to get it, man. It's called judgment, man. So we out there warning y'all, man. But do you take heed? Hell no, man. Y'all don't take heed. Y'all don't listen, but you will. You will. Now, it's all fun and games. It's all about scoffing and scorning and talking shit. But soon, you will understand that the Lord is the King of terrors, man. That the Lord is the King of terrors. Y'all will understand that. And we warn you, because we know that the Lord is the King of terrors, and we do not want your blood on our hands, man. That's why we out there in the highways and the byways pushing this word. In season, out of season, man. In truth and in sincerity, out there on the highways and the byways pushing this word. You niggas been warned, man. The whole world has been warned. Bottom line, man. Because this truth has been pushed out throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity. But thou hast delivered thy soul. Why? Because we out there in the highways and the byways warning you. Whether you take heed, that's your own affair. Whether you hear or whether you forbear, that's your own affair, man. Only the elect is going to hear and take heed to the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. But the 2/3 is going to disregard it and perish, man. Right along with Esau, their daddy. It reads, again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, hey, certain men that was in this thing of ours and fell out, went back into the world, they turned their back on the plow, man. They turned their back on this truth and they put down the plow. They ain't working no more. So we think it's going to happen to them. It says, again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness, going out there in the highways and the byways, pushing this truth, doing that which is right in the eyes of the Most High, observing the Sabbath, you know, all the high holy days, putting up videos, edifying the hope for the elect, warning the 2/3 to get right, but they ain't going to get right. When you turn from doing that You are marked. The Most High got you on this, in the scopes, you know what I'm saying? And therefore, whenever the Most High take pleasure in putting you to death, that's what's going to happen, man. It says, again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, which is sin, and I lay a stumbling block before him. What's that stumbling block? The situation with Cornelius being the Israelite. That's a stumbling block for a lot of men that claim to be in this truth, in this thing of ours. The MOTB is a stumbling block for a lot of men that claim that they in this thing of ours, man. There's a whole list of examples of stumbling blocks being tossed before men that's in this thing of ours, man. The rape doctrine. You know, this feminist crap with these women. A lot of jakes are simps, you know what I'm saying? So you start coming down hard on the women, a lot of men get emotional, man. That's a stumbling block. So it reads, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. Just like, let me read it from the top again. Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thy hand. Nevertheless, hey, that's a man that you know is like, he know he's going off, but still he's not warning him, telling him, listen, man, listen, man, you off, man, you going off, man. You're not doing, you're not putting up videos, you're not doing the work, you breaking out scriptures totally wrong. If you don't say that, if you don't warn that man to give him warning, so he can turn from his wickedness. Hey, and listen, man, you doing this, you doing that, man, you should stop doing that. Turn from your wickedness, man, and come back and be right with the Most High. If you're not telling that man that, his blood gonna be on your hands. So it reads, nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that it says, like, nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteousness of sin not, and he doth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned. Also, thou hast delivered thy soul. So that's the main reason why we out there in the highways and the byways, man. To warn the elect, to warn the whole house of Israel, to condemn Esau and the rest of the nations in the 2/3, and for men to get right, man. That's our whole job. If you take heed, you take heed. If you hear, you hear. It says, whether you hear, whether you forbear. That's your own. That's if you don't forbear. If you forbear, that's on your own. That's on you. We doing the work. We did our job. So it reads, okay, let me go. That was it. Let me go to this is Ezekiel chapter 32, verse, let me see, Ezekiel chapter 33, slack, verse 5. Okay. Okay. It says, all right, I'm gonna read a little bit more. It says, I'm gonna go to 1. 33 and 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set them for their watchmen, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he bloweth the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. And we are set up as watchmen unto the house of Israel. And we out there in the highways and the byways, in season, out of season, in the blazing heat, in the brick ass cold, whether it's raining, if it ain't raining too much, if it's snowing, we out there. If it ain't snowing too much, we're going to damage our phones and destroy our Bibles, which is our swords. We out there warning you, man. We out there warning you. We out there sounding the trumpet. We blowing the trumpet and we sounded the alarm of what's coming down the pike, man. Jacob's trouble, war, death and destruction. We're warning you. The MOTB. Don't take that Beetlejuice, as the Apostle Tahar, likes to coin it. We warning you. Whether you take heed, that's your own affair. We out there warning you. It says, verse 4. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. Because you've been warned. And that's what's going to come down. That's what's going to happen to you, to 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. That sword is going to come and take you, man. And your blood is going to be upon your own head, man. And you know what? We're going to be delivered from the blood that's going to be shed. Your blood that's going to slack it. Let me slow down. We are going to be the men that's out there warning y'all. Let me read it again, Slakia. I'm kind of, excited. Let me slow down and calm down. It says, Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 4. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We blowing the trumpet, we sounding the alarm, but you're not taking heed. Why? Because you're part of the 2/3 club. And you're slated for destruction. But guess what? Even though you're part of the 2/3, we still have to warn you. That's how the Most High set it up. We still have to warn you. We're going to warn you and tell you going off. What the hell you doing? It's wicked. Whatever you into, man. Whether you were here, whether you were forbear, that's on you. What's going to happen next is, if you don't take heed, eventually the Most High is going to destroy you. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. You're going to be destroyed. Bottom line. Whether you were here, whether you were forbear, you understand what I'm saying. Are you comprehending what the scriptures is saying? So it reads, back in Ezekiel 33, verse 5. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning. His blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and that's what we have to know how it's in the byways. We blowing that trumpet, because why? We don't want your blood on our hands, man. So now you have been warned. You niggas have been warned, right along with Esau and the rest of the nations, man. The world has been warned. Death and destruction is coming. Yahweh Shah is going to crack them skies, bringing death, destruction, and deliverance. Death and destruction to 2/3 Esau and the rest of the nations, and deliverance to the elect of the sons of Israel, man. Which is joint heirs with Yahweh Shah, man. So it reads, but if the watchman seeth the sword come, Ezekiel 33 verse 6, but if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. And that's why we out there in the highways and the byways. We don't want your blood on our hands, man. We telling you these things, man. You Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans have been warned. Whether you were here or whether you were forbear, that's your own affair. You're going to be taken. Hey, you're going to be taken. You're going to be destroyed. And the 2/3, the same, we've been telling you these things, but you disrespected us. You called us faggots, rapists, on pedophiles, demonize us to the fullest, man. But now you're going to reap all that. All you scoffers and scorners, you're going to have to pay for that, man. The same must know it after death by pain, man. And that's what's coming. Death and pain and destruction. Pain. You understand? Pain. So I'm going to close it out. That's all I have to say. You Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right along with the whole world. Because this truth has been spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth through the internet, man. Through the YouTube. You have been warned. You niggas and the rest of you nations out there, you have been warned, man. Death and destruction is coming. Shalom.